Hi, I wanted to record an update on my Stephania erecta. So I finally have leaves here, and I will kind of show those off. Excuse the camera shakes. Um, a lot of leaves have formed, which is great. This thing is incredibly leggy, at least for my taste. So I don't know, maybe I have like, I don't know, 9 leaves or something like that right now. Um, and what happened is two of them formed. The two that you see in the back there are the largest. It's a bit hard to see because they're so far back. Then it seemed to take a little break and it found, I put it under a grow light. And once it got really close to that grow light, it put out a ton of new leaves. So I think if I have any takeaway after this experience, it's that you should really give these much more light than people let on. I was told to give it morning light only, like east facing window, at most kind of directions. But this one is growing under a grow light and it is growing toward the grow light that is on for 17 hours a day, like a standard grow light with a reflective hood and everything. It's growing in essentially into that light. Uh, so I think it really, these can take a lot more than I think people said, at least initially, in the directions that I read. I also have this kind of near another lamp at its base. So the Codex, which I'll try to kind of zoom in on here, the Codex, it really looks unchanged from what it looked like when I started out. But the Codex is getting a lot of heat from that lamp that it's sitting near. So I think the warm roots probably helped the growth. And yeah, I just think it was searching for light. So it really, I mean, this vine is probably 18 inches long now, and it doesn't seem to be growing quickly anymore, at least the vine length. But these leaves here are all new, relatively new, maybe the last week or so, and they seem to be growing really quickly. They all look really nice. I think the coloration is nice. Those cool patterns that I think you see in a lot of the uh, different pictures you see online of these plants. So I can't wait for these to green up a little bit more. But yeah, overall it's still a really beautiful plant. I would definitely recommend growing them. Just give them a lot of light. Um, yeah, I think it kind of took a while, but yeah, I mean, from what I've said compared, in the older videos, it's pretty much the same care. I've kept that consistent. I think the only changes have been more light and adding a little heat to the roots by putting it near that lamp that's a heat source. So yeah, I haven't fertilized at all. I have not, and gosh, it might be getting some cues from being closer to a window now. But those are really my only ideas, I would say, as far as care changes goes. I think it just matured. The flowers, still in the same flower stalk. I'll try to kind of show that here, but the flowers themselves just really kind of browned. It wasn't, anything too dramatic. They were not very impressive to begin with. And it was just on the same stalk that the leaves then started to form. I have a friend who did not like the legginess of his plant, and he decided to cut the entire stalk off and try to start again. So he's starting with kind of a fresh Codex, just in these more ideal conditions, we think, with higher light and heat at the roots. And that one is growing so far a little bit more compactly, and it's growing pretty quickly as well. So I think if you really don't like the legginess that you're seeing and your plant is kind of growing normally otherwise, you might just cut your cut your stalk off. He cut it really at the base of the Codex. I'll try to grab my camera and show you, like just really close to the base. He cut it, and then almost right away he started seeing growth again. So I think that's an option if you don't like this vininess. I do not have it propped up quite like this normally. I have it actually leaning on another plant, but I'm considering doing one of these trellises that I've seen as well. I just like the leaves. I don't really know if I want to wait for the stalk to grow again. His is starting quickly, but I'm not really sure how long it's going to go. So I think I'm just going to see this one out, at least this time. And yeah, maybe, certainly if I did it again, I'd give them a lot more light than I was giving them. So yeah, please give me any questions. Maybe this will be the last video that I do, but yeah, to recap, if I would change anything, I would just give them more light and more heat at the roots and try to get a more compact, less viney plant. But it's kind of a preference thing as well. If you like a trellis, I mean, this is the way to do it. You can then, kind of wrap the vine around something, and it's not unpleasant at all. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions, and thanks for watching.